the night out right. Panel at the table in that half-dead light. Miss Robin in the middle, calling every shot, directing and producing, till the story runs hot. 1-1 from the city, badge heavy on his chest, towing that law like a wicked chain, spitting facts, no rest. Crimes after dark, we close the night out right. Tear through the lies till the wrong sounds like a fight. All of the answers buried so deep out of sight. We watch the threads unravel, we watch the threads ignite. JJ in the corner, state of the deep in his head. Which lies to toss and which ones to keep instead? Dago from the cafe says forget about it, leans back, spins his thoughts like a blade cutting holes in the track. Lee at the front, head advocate, steady stare, every word like a warning, every silence a dare. All of them leaning in, clock crawling, eyes bright. Every secret feels louder than the buzzing of the night. Crimes after dark, we close the night out right. Tear through the lies till the wrong sounds like a fight. All of the answers buried so deep out of sight. We watch the threads unravel, we watch the threads ignite. You can bury it in paper, you can lock it in a file, but the truth bleeds through, drip by drip, tile by tile. We're dragging it to daylight, name by name, line by line. If you wrote it in the shadows, we'll read it out this time. Yeah. Crimes after dark, we close the night out right. Tear through the lies till the wrong sounds like a fight. All of the answers buried.
Okay. There we are. I don't know what StreamYard hates me lately, guys. I'm sorry about that. Good grief. Well, anyhow, welcome to Friday night in the den with Crimes After Dark. I hope everyone is having a great evening and a good start to the weekend. We have a great show for you tonight, of course. Everybody's here except for the man himself, Lee. He is still, of course, at Crime Con. He's apparently having an exciting time there today. So I'm going to hopefully show some videos from there later on. So, yeah. Oh, ePotty says everybody's having StreamYard issues. So, okay. I'm glad it's not just me then. So that StreamYard has to get all the bugs figured out, I guess. So, but all right. Well, without further ado, I'm going to bring up everybody. We have, of course, Sir Dego from True Crime Cafe. How are you tonight, sir?
Das Harbonin. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Yeah, StreamYard's been pain in the booty today. People couldn't hear, things weren't working, so don't worry about it. Not you.
Okay. Well, I had to say a little bit of the same problem last night. I was like, why?
Yeah.
I get about 3/4 of the way through the song and then it would stick. So whatever.
It's either
But anyhow,
StreamYard or YouTube itself is doing it because there's a lot of problems all the way around the board. So I wouldn't worry about it, Robin. You're doing fine.
yeah. Well, hey, they know the score, so it's all good. And I will go ahead now and bring up from State of the Deep, JJ. How are you today?
Hello, Robin. Hello, Dago. Hello, denizens, meatballs, mods. How's
What's
everybody
up, buddy?
doing?
Good to see you tonight, brother.
You too.
Yeah. And of course, One. How are you tonight, sir?
Fine.
Hello, Robin, Dago, JJ. Always good on a Friday night.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
here we go. Okay.
Here we go.
Here we go. Oh my
It
goodness.
is
Well,
Friday night, everybody.
that's right.
Friday
Friday night
grapes.
fuckery.
I know.
Yep, Friday night grapes.
It didn't say anything about dancing naked in the title, but you never know. Just saying.
Well, hey, you know, it's always exciting here. Things happen that
Always.
you just don't expect. So,
Absolutely.
but yeah, so it's good to see everyone's bright and shining faces in the chat. Always love seeing
I didn't.
so many names that we always
Right.
recognize. So, and if you're new here, welcome to the den. We are so happy you're here. And please go ahead and like the video. Make sure that you are subscribed to this channel as well as Dago's channel over at the True Crime Cafe, and also over at JJ's channel, State of the Deep. So you guys have tons of good stuff to watch on all three channels. So please make sure you're
Wait.
subscribed here,
You
there,
forgot
and
about my
everywhere.
channel. What about my channel?
Your channel. Oh, your channel.
Yeah.
What channel? Your gamer channel?
The non-existent channel.
Hot Bods in Blue. You forgot? No.
Oh my
Hot
God.
bots in blue. Oh my
Have
god.
a good night, everybody. I'm out of here.
All right.
Bots in blue. That would
Hot
probably be a
mods
pretty
in blue.
popular
Jesus
channel
Christ.
if you
Yeah.
actually had one like that.
We're gonna. I know there's some people that'd be all over it looking for him. That's for sure.
That's his only
Yeah.
fans.
Yep. Right.
Yeah.
Only fan he has. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Somebody told me that we should all, like a lot of us creators, should put a calendar together. I said, I don't know that I trust that, you guys. That would be
A
insane.
calendar.
A
Oh, I could
calendar.
put a calendar together.
And I was like, I still have some of my firefighters gear, and I'm like, I don't know that I'm in. I don't know that I trust myself. So no, I don't think that's a good idea. That'd be
Well, I could just
wild.
put you in an
I could
AI
see a
one.
picture.
I mean, you know.
Yeah. I could picture.
That's true.
I could see now, like the December spread could be like JJ and
Yes.
Lee in a car, like like
Lost?
You could have them. They know
Lost.
outside of MPD, like it's snowing in the parking
Yeah.
lot, and they're like,
Yep, and paint's coming out the door. I mean,
Take a picture of me carrying baby paint around on my hip. There you go.
oh my god.
oh my gosh.
That would be a mess.
That would be hysterical. Yeah.
Yes. And yes, guys, I know a couple of you are already talking about there was a new doc drop.
Yes.
We
So
have not had a chance to review it.
We haven't
I
had a
didn't even
chance to review
yeah.
it. None of us have. So it just hit just as I was loading this in. So
I heard.
unfortunately, I don't have anything to be able to talk about. I'll probably get on it sometime tomorrow during the day.
We will.
I'm sure
Yeah.
they'll get on it
we'll
here
touch
too.
it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
good.
not-
Okay.
Marty Kuhn, I'm a big fan of you.
Yeah.
4582. I'm a fan of you. So
There you go.
Okay. There you are.
I didn't think I was gonna make it here with these stupid mall. I never heard of this shit when I
What's
was
this
younger.
thing about the mall?
Mall takeovers. These kids like
What?
they have this thing they spread it around on social media. It's like hundreds of these kids. They go into the mall and they go into the stores and just try to like steal shit and cause mayhem. I've never heard of any
Wow.
of this when I was younger.
We didn't do that.
Kids always, did did stuff, but I never remember hearing that kind of stuff.
No,
That's
that
crazy.
that's
That's
craziness.
crazy.
That's
I think
crazy.
the worst we ever did back in the day, I skateboarded through our mall because the floor was amazing, and then I ollied up into the water fountain. And as soon as I started up and turned around, the security guard standing there. I was like, okay, I'm caught on that one. I wasn't allowed back in the mall for 5 years. That's the worst. That's the
Oh,
worst we
geez.
did. So
That's
that's
just
crazy.
stupid.
That is
They have
dumb. So
nothing else to do,
Nope.
no, because
apparently.
they know that PD
No, they don't. Yeah.
they can't watch everybody at one time, so they know
No.
what they're doing.
And
Right.
and even if you catch them, they don't. It's not like
There's
they
nothing
do.
you can
It's
do.
not like they're gonna even if they actually committed a crime and you arrested them. Most of them are below. They're below the age, and even if they weren't below the age, they're so liberal. These again, as we always talk about, the power of the judges. No one get. They don't.
They
They're
know
not going to
there's
get
no
charged with it. They're not
consequences.
going to get charged
Right.
with anything. Right.
Right.
Exactly. I'm not saying, it's interesting. I'm not saying that, certain crimes like, a kid steals a candy bar that you need to, that he needs his arm cut off, like crazy stuff like that. But there
No, but
It should still
there
be
definitely
punished.
has to be consequences, and
Yes.
there's
Yes.
like no consequences now. So people, it's just like mass mayhem.
Because they know they can. My 15-year-old, he was 15 back in 2011. I had a friend of mine who was a cop come to the house to try to scare him, and tell
Yeah.
him because he was acting out, smoking weed, all the sorts of dumb shit. And he was like, he sat there with his arms crossed, like a smart ass, and said, "I know you can't touch me, so I don't know why you're here. There's nothing you can do about it." And I was like, "See," and they're teaching some of this in the schools, okay, some
Yeah.
of it. And my buddy told me, he's right. There's nothing I can do. He walked away. And he's like, there's really nothing we can do unless he hurts himself or somebody else. He goes, I said, at that point, it's too fucking late, dude. He's like, I know. He goes, I hate it. And I was like, well, it is what it is. Gotta love democracy these days.
And another thing is just the permissiveness of parents. When we were
Yeah.
growing up, if number one, if you got caught doing something and it got back to your parents, you
Oh,
would
yeah.
Their ass beat.
face the consequences.
yeah.
And so
Face
that
the
was one
spoon.
part of it. And so you knew, for example, if you did some shit that caused problems for your father who worked 12 hours a day commuting to and from the city, then you would face the consequences.
That belt comes off, you're done. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then on top of that, where I grew up and probably everybody here, if you were a smart ass, the older kids would kick your ass.
Yes, that's a fact.
Like
Yeah.
now people wouldn't do that because they'd get sued. But when we were kids, if I wanted to be an idiot, I would have to know that, okay, this might happen,
sure.
and you went into it understanding that there's a chance that if I mess with somebody, one of the older kids might kick my ass.
Absolutely. And if you got
Yeah.
paddled, when I was a kid, at least in my neighborhood, my household, because it was all the same, if I got paddled at school, which was rare, but it did happen, and the principal had to paddle you at school, as soon as I walked in the door, I got my ass whooped from my parents, period. That was end of story.
Yep.
That's all there is to it. So
Yep.
it created, I think, a bit of, that's the difference. We had a fear of consequence and a fear and a respect for authority. They don't have that anymore. It's just gone. So there was a disconnect somewhere down the line, which I've always blamed on this, a lot of it, okay, and many more things. So many more things, yeah. Paddle. I got to paddle. My grandmother would, when she'd catch me, she'd have me pull. She's from the South. I had to pull a switch off of the tree in her backyard, and she had one of those. That a rubber? Not a rubber tree. I can't remember, a willow tree or something. Oh my God!
Well,
you guys.
yeah.
And if I came in with some dinky little thing, she'd go out there and rip the tree out of the ground and beat me with it. I'm telling you right now, that's just how it came. Go pick your switch. And she would tag you. Yes, a willow tree, absolutely. So I learned that lesson a couple good times. And
when I was a kid, I went to, my whole family went to a Catholic school in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And we moved when I was 9, so I only
Right.
went first, second, and third grade, and they would hit you. Like
Yes.
if you didn't look forward, that's how strict it was. If you
Got hit in the
literally
head.
turned your head to the side, you would get smacked upside the head.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We talked about that before. I went to the same school, and the kneeling on the pencils and smacking the knuckle, all of that shit was real, folks. They did not play. They were mean.
Yeah, it was scary when you're a kid.
Yep.
You were terrified to just turn your head to the right.
Yep.
If you didn't, you had to sit with your hands folded on your desk,
That's it.
and you had to look
Yeah.
forward. You could not
Yeah.
look to the side.
And God forbid you talk. Oh, God forbid you talk.
Oh, you were terrified. You would not.
Yeah.
You would not do that.
No,
Yeah.
they didn't
Robin,
play.
I
in
do.
middle school.
I got an intro for us.
I was just gonna say,
If you want.
go.
I do.
Why don't
I
we go
do.
ahead and do that?
Sure, I'll do it, and we'll see where Friday Night Mayhem takes us.
Yeah.
Maybe to the hot bods in blue. I don't know. All right. Is it good to be alive in the den on a Friday night?
Of
Yeah.
course.
Always. Juliana, Jackson, my beautiful wife. Love you guys. Always. All right, here we go. There are cases that haunt the headlines. Cases that do not simply fade when the cameras leave. Cases where the silence becomes louder than the answers. Cases where every statement, every timeline, every missing piece, and every contradiction pulls us deeper into the dark. And in that darkness, one question keeps echoing. What is the truth? Not the version handed to the public, not the version shaped for convenience, not the version protected by power, fear, ego, or manipulation. The real truth, the truth that hides behind sealed documents, the truth that gets buried beneath rumors, the truth that gets twisted by narratives, distractions, and half answers, the truth that victims deserve, the truth that families deserve, the truth that the public has every right to keep demanding. This is not just another true crime conversation. This is Devil's Advocates. Here, we do not gather to agree, we gather to challenge. We question the story, we question the timeline, we question the evidence, we question the silence, and we question each other. Because in true crime, truth does not come from everyone nodding their heads. Truth comes from pressure. It comes from debate. It comes from uncomfortable questions. It comes from theories being tested, broken down, rebuilt, and tested again. We may come to the table with different perspectives. We may see different patterns. We may disagree on what matters most. But make no mistake, we are not divided. We are a unit. Different voices, different instincts, different experiences, one mission: to push through the noise and get closer to the truth. Behind the scenes, moving in the shadows, connecting the pieces, watching what others miss, is Robin, the quiet force, the eyes behind the curtain, while the conversation unfolds out front. Robin is there in the background, searching, organizing, supporting, and helping keep the machine moving when the case becomes heavy, chaotic, and confusing. Because every voice you hear has someone behind it helping carry the weight. Every theory has research behind it. Every discussion has preparation behind it. Every moment on this platform is part of something bigger than one person. And then there is one, King of the Clips, our law enforcement captain, bringing the receipts, bringing the moments back into focus, pulling the clips, the statements, the details, and the pieces that people thought were forgotten. Because sometimes the truth is not hidden in what was never said. Sometimes it is hidden in what was already said, but nobody was listening close enough. A clip can expose contradiction. A clip can reopen a question. A clip can remind everyone that memory fades, but the record remains. And one stands watch over that record. Then we go deeper, down below the surface, past the headlines, past the easy answers, past the recycled talking points. That is where you find JJ with State of the Deep. JJ goes where the shallow conversation ends, into the details that make people uncomfortable, into the theories that need to be challenged, into the questions others avoid because they're too messy, too complicated, or too dangerous to ask out loud. JJ is not always clean and he's not always simple, but in cases like this, the surface rarely tells the whole story. If truth is buried deep enough, then that is exactly where we are willing to go. From True Crime Cafe, we have Dago bringing perspective, bringing fire, bringing the kind of voice that cuts through the static. Because true crime is not just about facts on a page, it is about people, it is about victims, families, communities, systems, power, accountability. Dago brings the conversation back to the human side while standing firm in the fight for answers. When a case gets clouded, Dago helps bring it back into focus. When the debate gets heated, Dago reminds us why the debate matters. And when people want the questions to stop, Dago keeps asking them anyway. And at the center of it all is Lee, the host of Devil's Advocates, the one holding the room together, the one opening the floor, the one willing to let the hard questions breathe, because this is not a place for weak conversation. This is not a place where theories are protected from criticism. This is not a place where someone gets to speak without being challenged. This is not a place where the loudest voice automatically wins. On Devil's Advocates, every theory goes under the light, every claim gets tested, every contradiction matters, and every voice at the table has to be ready to defend what they believe, not because we are fighting each other, but because we are fighting for clarity. That is the difference. We debate because we respect the truth. We challenge because the truth deserves more than blind agreement. We disagree because sometimes disagreement is what sharpens the blade. And when the dust settles, when the arguments cool, when the theories have been pushed to their limit, we come back to the same purpose: justice, accountability, truth. The Idaho 4 case has shaken people to their core. 4 lives taken, 4 families changed forever, a community left with fear, grief, and unanswered questions. And from the beginning, this case has been surrounded by confusion, timelines questioned, narratives debated, details sealed away, information released in fragments. The public left trying to understand what happened while being told to accept what little they were given. And through it all, the noise has only grown louder: lies, manipulation, distraction, contradiction, silence. Whether it comes from the court of public opinion, the media machine, online chaos, or the shadow surrounding the case itself, one thing is clear: this case demands relentless attention. Because when the story does not sit right, you keep looking. When the answers do not line up, you keep asking. When people tell you to move on before the truth has been fully exposed, you dig your heels in deeper. We are not here to exploit tragedy. We're not here to turn victims into content. We're not here for easy outrage or empty noise. We're here because truth matters, because the victims matter, because justice matters. Because once the public stops asking questions, darkness wins. On Devil's Advocates, we know theories can divide a room. One person sees one path, another sees another. One person catches a detail, others missed. Another challenges the entire foundation. That is how it should be. Because real truth seeking is not comfortable. It is not clean. It is not always polite. It is not always simple. It requires patience. It requires humility. It requires the ability to say, I may be wrong, but this still needs to be examined. That is what separates a unit from a crowd. A crowd reacts, a unit investigates. A crowd follows noise, a unit follows evidence. A crowd wants to be right, a unit wants to get it right. And that is what we are building here, a table where theories are debated, not worshipped, a platform where questions are sharpened, not silenced, a team that understands that every angle must be tested before truth can stand. Robin, queen behind the scenes, 1-1, me, king of the clips, our law enforcement captain, JJ, State of Deep, Dago from True Crime Cafe, and of course, Lee, the host of Devil's Advocates. Together, we are not just voices in the dark. We are pressure against the silence. We are resistance against manipulation. We are the ones still watching, still listening, still questioning, still pushing, because the Idaho 4 case is not just a case file, it is a wound. And wounds do not heal under lies, they heal under truth. So tonight we step back into the shadows, we open the discussion, we challenge the theories, we examine the contradictions, and we hold the line. No matter how deep the deception goes, no matter how loud the distractions become, no matter how many times the truth is buried, twisted, or delayed, we will keep pushing, we will keep digging, we will keep showing up because this is what we do. This is who we are. This is Devil's Advocates. Different minds, different voices, one unit, one mission to find the truth. Welcome to the dark side of the discussion. And with that, I'm from New York. It's Friday night.
Yeah,
Welcome
buddy.
to the dark
Thank you very
side.
much.
Well
Yes.
done.
Yes,
Yeah.
very good one.
And you know that your intro really fits in well. I do believe the boss man is going to be coming at some point here, but I wanted to show some stuff with his permission. Of course, he gave me permission earlier to show some stuff over in Discord that he has been posting from CrimeCon, and you talk about the fuckery. And when he does come, I fully expect some ranting.
I bet.
This is some crazy shit.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Robin, just to jump in quick, did you see the message from Lee?
Oh boy.
He said he needs
Well,
the link.
Yes, I already gave it to him.
Okay.
Yep. I'm glad. That's all right though, in case I
Okay.
did miss something. But nope, I gave. That's why I
Okay.
said he's probably going to be coming along after a bit here because. But until then, I thought I would just show some stuff. So let me share my screen. I just have to find it.
Who all did he go with again? I know Rhonda went, but who else went with him? Was there more people or just him?
No, just him and
No,
Rhonda. But the custody queens were supposed to be there, but
yeah, he said they
has
got a
not
ticket.
run
or
into them yet.
something, Right. I think he
Yeah,
said
he
they got a
hasn't.
ticket.
Yeah, he hasn't run into them yet. He hasn't seen them. So
I heard there were some people in my chat today saying there was a bunch of creators that were going to be going, so we'll see.
Yeah. So this is if you're over in our Discord, you can go over and there's a channel or a thread, whatever you want to call it. It's CrimeCon 2026. And now this is from the one event that him and Rhonda were at. I think maybe it's over. And it's talking about the Nancy Guthrie case.
Right.
And this guy over on the left, okay, on the far left here. I don't know if you guys can see my pointer. I hope.
Can you blow it up at all, Robin, by any means?
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. If I take us off of the screen, I can.
There you go.
That's
a little
not
better.
Yeah, it's a little better. So, but so apparently he says, but the guy over here on the right, okay, so this dude over here,
Right.
in the, so he says, I'll read it for people who can't blow it up further than that. He says, "Wow, the one on the right has now twice said Nancy was murdered. Only after people gasped the second time did he backpedal and say he needs to be careful not to say he knows what happened. Then he talked about being at the early investigation and at Koberger's investigation and said Koberger's investigation was very organized and professional
Oh my
compared to
Oh,
Guthrie,
wow.
right?
Oh, compared to Guthrie's, maybe, but that was still a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he
Jesus.
said that then the guy showed a clip of himself asking a question at the early Guthrie press conference. And the first question he asked them was if they were going to use IgG information in this case.
Oh my
Mm.
God. Here we go.
And
Right.
yep, and and then
God.
he started talking about how his friends at Othram caught Koberger.
Bullshit.
Shit. And he
Bullshit.
says,
Sorry.
yeah, no, I agree. And he says, remember, Nancy is still officially missing, but he has twice said she was murdered and hinting that Othram is going to solve it.
Fucking joke.
Now, ain't that some shit?
Wait till
me-
they start
Oh
talking
my
about the
God.
flock cameras.
Get right.
Yeah.
Give me a break. SRB.
Yeah.
He's delusional. I want to know what he smoked before he got on
Yeah.
stage. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. And then this is just a screen showing,
Yeah, he's credible, all
Crime
right.
Con.
Exactly, Andrea.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't suck DA over to the dark side.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. So,
What a joke.
and
What a
then,
joke.
oh, he's there. There
He's
he is.
here.
Hang
Yeah,
on, let
he's
me-
here.
let-
He's here. I don't know if he's
let
ready.
me- Are you ready? Okay.
He's ready.
All right. Let me.
Howdy.
Let me pull this off the stage. Hey, how are you?
Pretty good.
Hey, hey.
I don't know how good our cell coverage is going to be. We're in the back of a car. We just got picked up from the end of the day of CrimeCon first day, so we're hopefully got good enough signal for you to hear us.
Yeah, you're coming in loud and
you're
clear.
coming
Very loud and clear.
Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Got some new cases.
So I got on just in. Yeah, I got some new cases to follow. Some crazy shit. Dentist Ohio story. I've got immediate questions that are my kind of questions. Like, wait a minute, nobody seems to be asking these questions. I already have some questions that are. I want to know more about that case now. I don't know if you know about the Idaho murder, but the Ohio murder. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
The dentist
yeah.
case. Yeah. So that I had some immediate questions. Got to listen to several cases that were interesting. Again, in the Alec Murdaugh case, it was interesting. They had the maid on, and she made it clear no one in law enforcement asked her any questions. Nobody followed up with her on any questions. It wasn't until late that anybody ever finally talked to her, and they sent a rookie cop out to talk to her. And when they asked her why nobody asked her when she's the maid and was there, she said, because, I'm the Mexican housemaid. They figured I had nothing to offer. Even though she knew more about the food than anybody, they just literally didn't give a shit because it was South Carolina and she's a Mexican. So that they viewed it as who cares what she has to say, even though she knew Maggie better probably than anybody and knew what her habits were and had all kinds of shit that she wanted to tell them, but they didn't want to talk to her because they just figured she's irrelevant. So I thought
that they did. I thought they had interviewed her. If I remembered, but I guess not. That's crazy.
I think it was just late. Yeah, I think it was only late. Right.
And she described the officer that came to talk to her as being a rookie cop that only asked very, very basic of questions and didn't know how to interview people. So, which was funny because she had been in the Navy and stuff like that. Like she's not your typical Mexican housewife kind of thing. She's been here plenty a long time. She's been in the Navy. But they treated her with kind of a racial bias. It seemed, but at least that was her opinion. So,
What a shame.
But
What a
a
shame.
lot of
That would have made
interesting
a big
stuff. Another
difference.
thing that she said that was kind of a surprise to me. Yeah, it would have made a big difference. And another thing she said that was a surprise to me, and maybe people who follow, I didn't follow the first case, she said it was clear to her that Alec Murdaugh had help cleaning up and staging the scene,
Right.
and that the person who helped him it has not been caught, and she can't say anything about it because she still lives there, which indicates that whoever it is that helped him clean up the scene still lives with her or still lives on the property. She still lives at the property. So I thought it was interesting that she said that, yeah, he had help. And she even said the reason why he had help is somebody came and saw it, that she thinks somebody came and saw it after the fact and decided they had a choice. Either tell on him or help out, and they went for the help out thing. And so again, that's criminal, right? So if somebody helps cover up a crime, that's criminal. But she's basically saying, so he had help, and I know who it is, but I won't say. Although she's writing a book, so there's that.
You think it could be his other son?
That's what I was thinking.
That was the first question I wondered.
That's what's popping into my mind.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. It's very plausible. Okay, he was a little bit weird during and after, I believe. So yeah.
And Paul, who was shot and killed, that was the son that was involved with the boating accident, right?
Right.
So one of the things that it was the first question. Again, forgive me because I didn't follow the first case, but I did remember the documentary and talking about the son. One of the things that came to my mind when I heard about the son being killed was they said something to make it sound like somebody came to kill Paul, and maybe Maggie just got it because she was there. So did somebody who felt that Paul got away with murder kind of thing and got off too easy because he knew, could they have possibly wanted to do a revenge kill on Paul?
Sure.
Now that was the first time that kind of entered into my mind, that maybe Paul was the target because of him getting off, basically easy because of who he knew and who his family was.
Right.
That whole
interesting point.
Yeah. That whole family is like hovered around like weird. I mean, even the other son isn't so clear. I know everyone. Paul is the one that gets all the heat because of the boating accident.
Buster wasn't clean either, though.
Yes.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
We
don't. We're not making. I'm not making an accusation, but there's strong evidence to believe he at least was. He may not have had anything directly to do with the kid, but he had knowledge, or he knew.
I agree
who was
with
involved. Because this kid that was killed or found in the middle of the street, he was the kid's tutor. He was this kid's
the one that got hit by the car. I can't think of his name right now. We covered that too, but I know what you mean.
It's super, super suspicious.
Yeah.
Oh
my God, what's his name? One.
Yeah. I know. I can't remember.
Sorry,
I can't remember his name either.
Go ahead, Lee. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to step on you.
Right.
Another thing I thought was odd.
I'll go ask Marty.
Stephen Smith.
Another thing I thought was odd because sorry, another thing I thought was odd because I didn't follow the first case was, again, Bianca, who I guess Alec called her B. So that was the way she described a detailed conversation where he had spoken to B and he was crying and his voice was in a high pitched tone. She said he was crying like a child cries kind of thing when he was first telling her about his wife and son passing. It made me wonder again about the, was that an act or was it legitimate or was it what was that? Like, was he putting on a major performance or not? The things that she told me that I thought were surprising was she went into detail about how Maggie didn't. I think it was Maggie, right? That was the wife. How she didn't sleep in undies. Like she didn't wear panties or a bra ever to bed. And yet there was a big thing about the laundry that was laid. Like her panties and underwear and bra were laid out very particularly in the laundry room, and she knew that was wrong. That's what she kind of knew. And there were pajamas too, but she knew that was not Maggie's typical behavior.
Normal.
So that's kind of how she knew that it had been staged. But again, nobody wanted to talk to her. Like she wanted to tell that to the police, but they didn't want to talk to her. So she knew things about it. She's like, wait a minute, this is staged because I know this woman and I know how she sleeps. This is not normal. She also, and maybe she said this at trial, but she also became convinced that he did it when they opened the body cam footage, when they opened the car and they saw the towel inside the car. She knew that Alec had been in the laundry room and had used the towel and stuff. And So, and changed
Well,
his
it makes you.
legislation.
It almost sounds, Lee, like some of the stuff we've heard with a couple other cases that you're saying that she said they didn't talk to her because maybe the racial thing, so on and so forth. But maybe they didn't talk to her because once again we've seen this happen in other cases. They knew that she knew something, and that they didn't want that information out there. Possibly, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's another thing. That's another thing. I don't know if you've been following the Discord channel, but that was another thing. Almost every single case starts with them telling you how the FBI or in law enforcement continues to hold files and will not show
Yes.
people the truth. To this
Right.
day, Alcatraz has tons of files that the FBI won't release. Why the
Yep.
fuck are we still hiding Alcatraz, for fuck's sake? That thing, everybody's dead now. Who anybody who could have survived is dead, and yet they still won't turn over to the public the files. So it makes you wonder, as I was saying informally backstage, you need to start all cases now with the presumption that you're being lied to. From the very
Yes.
beginning, we should always assume you are being lied to from the beginning and make them prove that they're telling you the truth, because they all
Absolutely.
lie in every single
Yeah.
case.
I was
I
just
fully
starting
agree with you.
to show the I was just starting to show the Discord then when you popped in, and I was showing them how that one guy kept saying, Nancy's been murdered, and
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah,
It's
twice he
insane.
said it. And the second time, the audience kind of had a little bit of
Wow.
a gasp, like, what are you trying to say? Like, he even said, he even hinted that she was dead within the first day or whatever, and kind of like, well, when she was murdered, she's been gone for like whatever. And like, wait a minute. And the second time he said it, there was kind of like a little gasp that I heard from some people, like,
Yeah.
did he just say she's murdered again? And he's like, well, let me be clear. We don't know what happened, and I need to be real careful about saying what happened.
Yes,
I'm like,
they do.
sounds like you just said twice,
Yeah.
you she's been
they
murdered.
Yes, they do.
And you just and again, you're just lying to the public about what happened because you want to. Well, I don't know what your game is, but apparently, I think you all
I
know
think
she's
they
dead.
forget. I think they forget sometimes where they're at and what they can say, and things that they just fall out of their mouths and don't realize that. I just spilled the beans and I probably shouldn't have. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean the
Yeah.
news needs to get all over that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, I think everybody's come to the conclusion that Nancy's unfortunately probably deceased at this point. But
right.
Mhm.
for him to come out and say the
Still.
the first day and stuff like that, if you're gonna do that, just put it out in the news. Then
Right.
stop holding on to this shit and hiding everything. It's ridiculous. They say that they
Exactly.
do that to protect the integrity of cases, and I don't believe that anymore. I just don't.
No.
It-
No,
it's
I
a-
don't either.
I don't believe that that's the answer to why they keep things hidden and sealed. I think we have a whole different
I
answer
think
to
Lee
that.
is frozen.
It looks like he is, yeah. He fell asleep while driving, folks. Better call 911.
I hope not. I hope not.
I mean, look what they're doing now. We just got another dock drop in Idaho, okay? Just
Yeah.
another one.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
and we've been waiting on these documents for how long, you guys?
I gotta ask.
Yeah.
I hope I hope Amanda grabbed them back.
Oh, I'm sure she did, because she's good like that. But
Yeah, if you
it's,
can't, Sarah D. Irish put them out on her Twitter page, and you guys can click her link, and they're all listed in there. If you didn't grab them, they're all listed right there. So,
yeah. So, but
very
yeah,
crazy
it's crazy. Lee's absolutely right. I mean, how can we? I mean, you have a guy coming out twice and saying that she was murdered and they knew it the day after it happened or whatever. How can you trust anything that they say anymore regarding any kind of crimes?
you
The
can't.
ones that need to have to show, have a burden of proof on them for constantly fucking lying to us.
Well, I mean, I fully agree with him, and I think, and I hate to say this, okay, because I don't want to become that person, but what choice do we have? But I think he was right. You go into a case, you need to automatically assume that you're being lied to straight out of the gate until you figure it out, because everything we've seen, even in some aspect, has been lies. Okay, Noah Presgrove, the Nancy Guthrie case, the Charlie Kirk situation, even going backwards to Summer Wells. What the hell was oh my God, Gabby Petito, Summer Wells, 100% Kylie Rodney, Deborah Collier, all of these cases. Let's go overseas, okay? Same shit with the case I covered overseas, Nicola Bully, absolutely lies, okay? So all of you cannot, and I hate to say this again, but you cannot trust law enforcement to do what they're supposed to do. And I just don't. I can't and I won't. So
Well, And
I'll
but you know what? And it's not, I mean, look at 1-1. I mean, we have an amazing, I mean, just, and there are plenty of cops that are like that.
yes,
But then there are the ones that especially with these high profile cases,
yes.
they come in and they just lie and I don't understand how they can do that to the
I agree
families of
with you.
these people.
Right. Exactly. Happy JFK as well. Guys,
Yeah, right?
we will never, ever, ever,
No.
ever, ever, I don't care what year it is, get the truth in JFK's case. Ever. Period.
Well, yeah, and you can't because his brain is gone from the National Archives.
Oh yeah,
They lost it supposedly.
yeah,
Yeah,
lost
But
right.
it.
yeah,
Gotta love those
but
excuses, Robin. Gotta love them.
oh, I know. Yeah.
We had a fire. They
But
left the refrigerator open. All those fun things. Yes, you did. Okay.
yeah, 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 exactly. So, I mean, there's just it's just unreal. So, um I
They
do
think we're
have
stupid. That's the
uh
biggest problem. I'm sorry, Robin. I didn't mean to stop. I thought you were done.
yeah, oh no, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
The biggest problem I have with all of it is they think we're all dumb. That's the biggest problem. Okay, they think we have no
Yeah,
common sense. They think we have no knowledge. Like a lot of people that come into this are retired law enforcement attorneys, doctors, retired firefighters, EMTs, judges. There's people, psychiatrists, psychologists. We're not just your run of the mill everyday people. Some of us, okay, and the other
right,
ones that don't have all that background, they're still intelligent enough to realize it's all bullshit. How do you lose
right.
somebody's fucking brain? Tell me that one.
Uh, yeah,
Come
exactly.
on.
Exactly. Yep.
Insanity. Pure insanity.
Yep.
The problem is so many people don't question narratives that get handed out
Right.
in the mainstream, which is essentially what CrimeCon is, right? It's the
Yeah.
mainstream of true crime.
Right.
And so a lot of people, and I'm not saying this to be mean to people, but I know a lot of people personally that follow true crime. And when I say, for example, I might bring up the Idaho 4 case, and they're like, what do you, and I say, oh, that's a crazy case. And they go, well, what do you mean? And how do I explain years of
Yeah.
fuckery to
Right.
somebody who has no
Right.
idea what I'm talking about? So it's a fundamental problem, which is the whole reason why I wanted to start my own channel,
Yeah.
because people believe that the mainstream media tells them the truth.
Yep.
And
And they
it's
don't
a
want to
real
question it.
problem.
Yeah, it is.
Well, and here's the
Uh,
thing, JJ. If you go, sorry, Robin. I'm sorry.
that's okay. I was just gonna say, it looks like we have someone new here, self-help this. So glad to have you in the den. Welcome, and I
Thank you,
hope
self help.
you enjoy the show. So thank you.
Right. But all I was gonna say was that it's sad because if you go back to when you and I and most of the rest of us were, most of us are Gen Xers. Okay, so if you go back to when we were, elementary age, the news was the news. I mean, they gave you the truth for the most part. I mean, big deal things, and I think that's about when they started to change the stories up because they didn't want the public knowing, certain things going on behind the scenes with different wars and stuff like that. But back then, we most of what we got, with Tom Brokaw and Peter Jennings and all them guys would come out, we would get truth, okay, and it all panned out to be the right thing. But slowly but surely, it cracked, and here we sit today, to where nobody watches this shit anymore, and if they do, it's pure entertainment because it's all lies, and they don't trust it. And we
Well, you
should,
can trace it
Yeah.
directly to the introduction of the Smith-Mundt
yeah,
Modernization Act
yeah, that's right. I
of
couldn't remember what it was.
2013. If you could draw a direct line to when the media literally became all propaganda.
Yes, that
And
is right.
and if the government is allowed, it's just basic logic. If the government is legally allowed by law to lie to the public, if they deem it necessary for whatever their stipulations are, well, then any proxy of the government
Yep.
would be able to do so as well, which would include the mainstream media. It would include any
Law enforcement.
NGOs that are work in conjunction with the government.
Yep.
So this
Right.
is a real problem that most people don't even know about.
And they don't
Right.
think about it.
And to Sean Marie's point, they know that we know that many of us know, but it doesn't really seem to
They don't care.
matter to them. They
That's
they
right.
they don't care because as long as it supports their agenda and they can hide the, stuff that's really going on with these crimes. I mean, now what is the freaking point of stringing this on all this time with the Nancy Guthrie case? What I don't
No, that's a
understand.
great
What is
question.
it that what are they what is the purpose? JJ, you're always saying, look at the bigger picture and all that. What would the purpose be for them? I mean, this guy is saying that the next day they knew exactly what happened, that she was murdered, but yet here we are. What is this? 3 months? 4 months?
Yeah, I think it's longer than that. I think we're
What
heading. Was it February, March, April, May? Yeah,
February, March,
4 or
April.
5,
Yeah,
going on
yeah.
5
So like
months.
4 months. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, why? Why? I don't understand
Well,
the point
I've
of,
been saying, I
you
said
know?
it when we discussed that case on here, and we
Yeah.
talked about the Nancy Guthrie case. I said,
Right.
because they're going to use this case to forward. I said two things. I said the IGG stuff, and I said
Well,
anybody can
that's what
go
they
back
shouldn't
and
say
watch the
anymore.
clips. I said watch Othram
Yeah.
get introduced into the picture, and I said watch for the
Mhm.
camera surveillance systems, because they're going to do it. They don't do it immediately. I always say this. It takes a little while before you see their
Mhm.
agenda, because they don't drop it immediately. They hint at it. But eventually, what they do is they will start saying, oh, if we had these mechanisms in place more widespread, this case would have been solved the first day, or it would have been prevented from happening. And I still
Yes,
stand
sir.
by that. And I said it on here. Anybody can go back and listen, because that is what happens. The mainstream media is connected to U.S. intelligence.
Right.
That means
They
anybody. That
own them.
means Nancy Guthrie. That means Savannah Guthrie, rather. All these people, they are proxies for what I would argue, and there's a lot of evidence for the intelligence agencies. And if there is an agenda that they want to push, then they'll push it, and they'll use whatever mechanisms they can to push those agendas, including lying to the public about things so they can forward their agendas. I've been screaming this from the rooftops about the mainstream media for a while now. And so, in my opinion, that's what's going to happen with the Idaho 4 case. Now, they probably didn't expect the Idaho 4 case to catch on with the public the way that it
Right.
did
Right.
around the damn world. This case is global,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So they
Right.
probably were like, all right, look, we have to be very cautious how we introduce these things down the road, because there's a lot of people are paying attention to it. So they'll do it strategically, and they'll wait until when eyes are not as locked in on it. And again, that's my explanation why they do
It
shit
makes
like
sense.
that.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Absolutely. I fully agree with you on that, because if you look at it, every bit of anything we receive from them, every bit of it. Well, first off, with Nancy Guthrie's situation, look at who her daughter is. Okay, Savannah
Right.
Guthrie's a reporter for a very well-known national TV syndicate. Okay, um, through I think it's NBC. They're NBC. So there's that. Okay, and she's on the Today Show, guys. I mean, it is what it is. So there, don't tell me there's no connection with Savannah and the situation. There absolutely is, in my opinion. Okay, and
Yeah. Um,
it all makes sense. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. Now, someone in the chat had said that in 1980, Ronald Reagan abolished
Yes,
but he did not. Okay.
that's what they said.
Actually, Right. Actually, that did not happen until 1987, and it was the FCC that got rid of that doctrine. He now there were Reagan appointees involved in that, but he did not actually himself get rid of it. The FCC did. So to your point though, JJ, there's a government involved, these appointees involved with the media. So
They own the media. The
right.
government
Well,
owns the media. It is what it is. I
right,
mean, it's
Yeah, I
just
mean, look,
right,
years ago, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I said that if you look into it, it's the information's all there. Anderson Cooper
mhm,
worked for the CIA,
mhm,
and my
Yeah.
friend wasn't aware of that. And I said it's not out in the open per se, but he went and interned with the CIA. Well, why would a guy who's becomes a big media personality whose family is the Vanderbilts, why
right.
would he
right,
go to work for the CIA? Well, we all know, anybody who's done any research knows, because Operation Mockingbird is in full effect still. The media, they embed CIA people into the media. It's gone on forever, and there's no reason to believe they stopped it. And like a
right.
year, or maybe a year and a half ago, or maybe a year, my buddy was like, dude, I was reading some stuff, and he's like, you were right about Anderson Cooper. I was like, yeah, it's anybody can find this information. And
Yeah,
I have my suspicions about a couple of other big names in media, both mainstream and non-mainstream, that they are actually working for the CIA. But
no, it's very
if
possible.
you tell people this who don't know the way things have always worked, they think you're crazy. Wouldn't you, if you were an organization that wants to control narratives so you can push different agendas, wouldn't you, a powerful organization like that, wouldn't you embed people into the media? Of course you would. You want
Well,
to be
yeah,
able to shape public opinion, you shift narratives. And that's why I always say it's not separate from true crime, because
Right.
when you have all these channels that are all in lockstep almost immediately on these major high profile cases, Idaho 4, Luigi Mangione, Charlie Kirk, Nancy Guthrie, anybody can just do a basic logic experiment. What would be the probability that every single one of these larger outlets jumps right on the mainstream narrative? It's not
right,
logical. It can't happen by chance. It's
right.
impossible.
And
There's
Right.
then,
no possible way.
I mean,
Right.
and are all these labs looking to get like monopolies on? I mean, okay, you have Othram, but then there's the lab that the Gonzalez's have
Yeah.
working with them now. I can't remember the name off the top of my head what that lab is. I mean, so
Yeah.
are we gonna have just all these super labs with franchises instead of independent labs? I mean, that's kind of the way it seems to me
Yes.
that it's going, because Othram has their hand in everything now, but they didn't catch Koberger. That's the thing that people
Not even
they don't
close.
remember.
Well,
They
there's narrative shifting, and
Yeah.
right, sure,
it's a big problem, because the the thing that I think frustrates me more than anything is that for certain types of people, which I would argue our audience, the people who follow what I've been referring to as the dissident true crime community,
Mhm. Of
are people that question the mainstream narrative.
course.
Now,
Yeah.
right,
unfortunately, we are the vocal minority, and most people just kind of go along with whatever the mainstream narratives are.
Yes.
And
hmm,
it's scary, because in my lifetime I never thought that society could get as messed up as it is now. I knew
Agreed.
there were issues. I knew corruption. Anybody knows there's a lot of corruption and things like that. But I never imagined it we could get to where we are right now so quickly. And again, I try to pin these major events. The Smith-Mundt Modernization Act is a massive one because, and anybody can go to the Congress website and look it up. And you got to read between the lines, of course, because they're going to phrase things in a way that most people won't think too much about.
Sure.
And so that ties in with everything we talk about, why the mainstream media is so full of shit. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. If society was not so divided, they wouldn't be able to get away with
Yeah.
this bullshit.
Well, that's why they
Right.
keep us divided.
Yep.
Period.
Yeah.
Well, we can't let it happen. You know, we talked about that the other night about, you know, we need to start listening to each other and coming together and that kind of thing. But it is scary, but we all have to kind of try to stick together as much as we can and realize that even though we do have differences of opinion on cases, on, you know, many things, at the end of the day, we're all still humans. Most of
Yep.
us.
Yep.
You
Most
know,
of we try to
and
be.
Most of us.
you know, most of us, we all want pretty much the same things, you know.
Well,
So,
that's why
um,
I won't shut up about the fact that people have to stop buying into this divisive rhetoric, because
Yep.
Yeah.
that is
That,
what
Yep.
has enabled things to get so bad.
that's
That
why
is
I.
it.
That's
Right.
yeah, and that's why I freak out like on my own show, and I'm like, okay, here we go again, guys. When the Turby Taylor thing, okay. Once again,
Yep.
divide them down the middle and go to town with it, guy. Every time they get a
yeah,
chance to put anything out, it happens every single time. So we have to notice those
yeah,
things. We have to see those things when they come and be able to stand against that and not allow that to happen. Unfortunately, it's not as easy as it is to say it, but we
right.
have to recognize it. Is all I'm saying, folks, because they do it so often.
And
Yep.
and again, look at this case. Look at Idaho 4, for example. There's very clear line drawn in the sand, right?
Right.
Right.
And
Right.
there's no nuance. And I worry about this stuff because years ago, I I was telling anybody that would listen, if you keep allowing them, they, quotes, who are they? I'm researching that, by the way. Um, if you let them keep dividing us, things are going to get really, really dark. Now, that was about 6 or 7 years ago, and I was saying it on Facebook, and people they didn't do anything about it. They just bought into this rhetoric of this side versus that side. And what you do is you're giving them license to manufacture consent to do really bad shit. And that is the way
Yeah.
they operate. And hence, look at the shit show we're living in right now.
Yep. Well, like I said, we have to just keep fighting back and spreading the word about these things. And you know, oh hey, we have a gift from Teresa. Is that on your side, I think, Dago? Yeah, I think that's over on Dago's side. But thank you very much, Teresa. And I know he appreciates it very much. So, but okay, so I brought up another video here, video, I mean, let's see what this looks like. Let me make sure you guys can hear this, I hope. I don't know exactly what this is. And maybe it doesn't even have, oh, it was only a couple seconds. What the heck? Basically just showing you the room, I guess. Oh, main ballroom. This is a main ballroom.
You're gonna have to
Okay.
be careful with playing that, because if he
Oh,
has, because that's this you would what you just played, that was a Michael Jackson song, so you don't want to get
oh, I
copyright.
didn't hear the music. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
So
Well, never
you
mind.
gotta be
I'm not
careful.
gonna play
Yeah,
anything
I'd be
else.
careful. Right.
Yeah, but so, here's what Lee was talking about earlier before he says every case we listen to, they tell us that law enforcement, often the FBI, lied and hid things from the public and continue to do so. And he's talking about Alcatraz. That's crazy to me. Alcatraz. That they're still hiding stuff about Alcatraz. I mean, that's been how long ago now? Let's see if there's any other like pictures or anything quick. Nope, I guess that's what he has so far, but yeah, that's just crazy to me.
Guys, I
Mm.
downloaded a paper today. It was like an
Mm-hmm.
article thinking, all right, oh, it's really interesting. It has to do with the global power structure. And I didn't read how many pages it was. And
Oh
I
boy.
set up my printer and it's like 300, 250 or something
Whoops.
pages.
I
And
hope you
and
have
my
ink.
printer kept running out of paper, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna run out of ink now. But I already started it. I figured I might as well finish it. I didn't think it was gonna be that long of a paper because I found it through a link on Wikipedia. And I was like, oh, cool. They have a PDF file. And I started printing it. And it just kept going, man, and kept going and kept going. I kept running out of paper. And now I'm like, oh, the ink's going to be gone on my printer pretty soon.
Oh man,
So I got a
that's
lot of
crazy.
homework to do.
Lots and lots of homework.
It's a good one, though.
I'm not sure what that means. Niles Buckman says, I'm waiting and ready to drop you another one. I don't know what that means.
What?
I am going to throw out the link, and if there's anyone who would like to come up and hang out with us on panel, ask some questions and so forth, you may do so. It's Friday, so we're just kind of chilling at the end of this week, and if the boss pops back in after a bit here, why,
That's what I did today. I
There's a
did a
lot.
Q&A.
yeah, we're always neat. So
I'm
there's
on
There's a
up.
lot of documents here. Lots of documents. My
I
God.
think there was 12 new ones
yeah,
that
there's
they
gonna be a lot
dropped.
to go through.
No, I think it's even more than that.
I only seen the 12, but I know there's some pictures and
I just downloaded.
or
I think
video.
I just got like 24.
Oh, okay. Maybe they dropped
I
more
don't know.
since
You
we've
might
been
be right.
talking.
I don't. Yeah.
Hmm.
Hold on.
Yeah, so we'll all be busy.
Oh boy.
Yeah, very much so.
Going through all this.
I'll be right back, guys. One sec.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay.
I see
Yeah,
there's a
there's
sheet on. I see there's a. It looks like a. What is this? Oh, this is This looks like a resume. They have a resume for Gilbertson.
Oh,
It looks like it to me. It looks like a resume.
that's cute.
how about that?
A one-page resume.
Got training records for him. I know that's
They
what
also
Ann
have
wanted.
no, this is something else. Okay.
Let's see. The link is posted on our side over here as well in the cafe. Amanda said there's
Excellent.
23 new docs, so you were about right then.
Yeah, 23. Yeah, that's something. Yeah, they probably dropped more.
I would love to see who just said that. Angel D. Can we get the grand jury
Yeah.
testimonies? My God, I'd love to see those.
Nah, you'll never see that.
I know.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
I'd like to see their reaction to Dylan Mortensen's testimony as well, guys, and hear it. That would be.
Mhm.
I'd love to be in a fly on the wall for that.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much, Teresa. We appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Very awesome, Miss Teresa.
Yes, yes, you
Yeah.
guys are very generous. We appreciate it. And
Yeah.
to all the people, I said I have more than one screen now, but I still don't see the little jewels popping up. So for those of you who are giving us jewels, thank you very much for doing that. We really appreciate it. But for some reason, they don't come across the screen like they were there for a while.
Right. Right. I don't. It depend. YouTube is screwed up today, bad. So I don't know what's going on. Like, there's people that can't hear, can't see, getting junked out, everything, and so they're messing with
Yeah,
things again. Every time YouTube touches buttons, we have problems. So
yeah,
where did you
yeah.
pull the documents from? One off of the website, the COSI
Yeah,
website.
I can send it to you backstage if
No,
you.
I mean I think we have
Oh, you
them, but
have
I
it.
just wanted to see
Okay.
if you have one solid link, you can if you want to, because I know
Yeah, I'll send it to
that'd be
you.
fine. That way we can have them all. But I know, like I said, there was problems with where we were getting them from at first, so that's fine. Thank you, appreciate it. Let me
Wow.
see.
And
Let me
I think
see.
there's some videos and stuff that dropped too,
Yeah,
but
there's
again,
videos in
haven't
there.
had a chance to go through those. So
Megan Marshall
some of them
corrupt.
they've
Yeah,
already dropped. Like there's one in there, Brian's traffic stop, and so I
these
don't
were
know that
things
they're
that
doing it.
Why is it?
they were documents that were sealed, that were dropped. We only saw pieces of, and then they were supposed to be unredacted and unsealed and all that kind of stuff. Some of this stuff was, but they pulled it or they dropped it, pulled it back, and dropped it again, from my understanding. And that's what I think we're supposed to be getting. But I think they've taken so long trying to redact every damn thing they can in this that's why it's been months. Thank you,
Yeah,
Bubbles. SRB sent more too. Thank you, dear.
excellent.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
more.
So
We're gonna be
we'll
busy
we'll be
tomorrow,
getting to
folks.
A lot
those, and
more.
yep. Yeah.
Oh
And
my
oh, to
God.
that end, I just want to remind everyone, Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
one and I are going to be doing a live. We're going to be covering the hearing, the WSU hearing that's going to be happening. I don't know how long it's going to be. It's going to be a Zoom hearing.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
no, don't know how long it's going to be, but we are going to be live at 1 p.m. Eastern. So 10 a.m. for Pacific people, and wherever you are in between, you'll have to figure it out. But
What is it?
Absolutely.
1 p.m.
you know,
Eastern?
yeah,
Yes.
1 p.m. Eastern. Yeah. So we'll be live. So um
And don't
after
forget,
that's happening.
right? You are not banned, Niles. Who said you were banned?
Dago, I sent you the link if you needed it in Discord. I
Thanks,
was trying
Lord.
to send it backstage here. It was giving me problems. In Discord, you got it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Just click on at the top. Just go to 20. Click the little thing that says 2025, and then they're all I believe everything that's new says new in front of it. So
Yeah,
Got
this will
you.
be on
Appreciate it.
Monday. The hearing is on Monday.
Right.
So Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So
And don't
we will
forget,
be
folks. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, no, go right ahead.
Don't forget, guys. I threw the link in my chat over here for tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The verdict room unfiltered. We will be having Travis from Travesty Logic joining us to break down the statement analysis stuff that he did with Dylan Mortensen and just the basics of what he does with the statement analysis. And then also, he's going to be doing it live with us. We're going to be having him break down another interview live while we're live with it. So it should be very interesting. If you're not doing anything tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, make sure to join us for that.
did you decide which interview you were breaking down yet?
I'm so torn on that. We all are.
Because I know you were talking about it last night. Yeah.
We're trying to figure out who would be the best to do. We've talked about Lakeland
Yeah.
because she did spend time with Dylan. Then we've talked about Jack Decor.
Mhm.
I want them all. I want them all. Truly and honestly, I'd like Eric Gower. I'd like to hear his breakdown of law enforcement. That's what I'd like to hear. the things that they're saying when they're doing the interviews. Truly and honestly, that would be the best for me. But I don't want to like overload this guy and say, "Hey, do it all." You know what I mean? So no. So yeah, tomorrow it'll be me on the verdict room with Logan, Kim, and Mikey, and we will be going into that, guys. So if you're not doing nothing, please join us. It's going to be something you don't want to miss, in my opinion.
Cool beans. All
Oh
right.
yeah,
Yeah, that'll
there we
be
go.
very interesting. Yeah.
There's Miss Robbins' link for her channel, guys. Make sure you guys subscribe to that. Absolutely. Thank you for putting that in there, Amanda, because I want to put that on my side too.
Oh, ooh. Well, thank you very much. I'm super stoked. I think we have 91 subscribers now, and I know you guys are waiting on the first video. Like I had said to you before, technology was hating Robin there for a little bit, and I had to revamp some stuff. But we will be getting an episode, our first episode, out very soon. So stay tuned for that, and I'll let you know when exactly that's going to be happening. So.
Thank you so very much. I can't wait. This is something that needs to be done too, you guys. So you should probably follow it. Wisdom Speaks was very heavily into the missing and murdered indigenous, which is something we very much supported over here. And I'm so glad that Robin has jumped up to do this because it needs to be talked about. It needs to be seen. It's a bad, bad problem that is not getting any better. So I'm grateful to
Well,
you for
and
doing this.
Well, thank you. And someone who inspired me was actually Tommy Jude from
Yes.
Once
Big
Upon a
time, yeah,
Time, because that was one of his things that was very near and dear to him. And
100%.
um, he did not get around to covering it as much as he wanted to. I know that. And so that was, kind of what started, me thinking about it, but also because Essie um, has been, like I've told you before, she's been doing true crime for forever, like, into it. And, with me writing a lot of Native American stories with Native American characters, the two things kind of just collided, I guess you would say. And we started kicking around an idea, what could we do to help bring awareness? So that's how that came about. And so we will be covering, of course, cases, but also a lot of issues for the indigenous communities. And we are not the Great White Hope. So that is not going. That is not what this is. We want to
No.
be allies. So but
I'll tell
yeah,
you
Tommy,
something
yeah.
I looked into 2 years ago for a little while, and oh my god, I mean, Alaska, you guys, if you look into the Alaskan indigenous oh my god, especially
Oh, I
missing women.
bet.
It's
Missing
Yeah.
it's
women in
it's
Alaska is
horrible.
it's insane. It's like almost
Yeah,
the entire state, folks. It's bad. It is so, so bad.
yeah. Well, and we're going to be covering issues like around the globe because Canada.
Yeah. Yes.
They face a lot of the same thing. I mean, you have the Aborigine people from Australia still facing some of the same
Right?
type of thing. So it's not just our own country. So
No.
we're going to start here, but we want to bring awareness of these things from around the globe as well. So there's going to be a lot to
Definitely.
focus on. Yeah, and we want to bring awareness however we can. I mean, anything from reservation issues to,
There's a lot of trafficking
I
issues
mean,
within. Yeah.
yes, the trafficking and even down to the point of schools preventing or trying to prevent, um, indigenous people from, especially the
Yep.
men, from wearing long hair.
Yep. Taking
Or,
away
or,
that's their culture. They're taking that away from them. That's
right,
insane. That's insane.
right. And there's been ones they've had to go to court just to be able to put Native American adornments and so forth on their graduating caps or gowns.
That is
I don't
disgusting
get
to me.
that.
That is absolutely
It's
disgusting.
it would be the same thing as trying to prevent someone from wearing a cross,
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
a
Yes.
cross
Right.
pendant. It
Right.
would be the same exact thing. It would
Yep.
be the same exact thing. So, but anyhow, I'm not going to get on that soapbox too much. But so those are the kinds of things we're going to be covering over there.
Well,
And I really appreciate your support, Dago. It means a lot, and I just really wish that
it's
I could
important.
have gotten to know Wisdom.
She, I promise you that she's looking down with a smile on her face because she was so very much into her culture. We supported her and loved
Yeah,
her culture and do as well with what she was doing. Tommy, again, Tommy, me and Tommy were pretty
yeah.
close.
And Moonflower
Again,
here. I know that
yes,
Moonflower did a lot of work with Tommy
yes, yes.
on
Yeah,
those issues. So yeah,
absolutely. So yeah, Tommy um was very Tommy lived on a reservation, folks. I don't know, a
yes.
lot of you guys may not have known that, but he did, and
Mm-hmm.
he had a big piece of his heart was connected to the missing and murdered indigenous, and it's just a horrible thing. I mean, for those of you that never saw the True Detective series that came out, the last one they put out with Jodie Foster in it was all based on the Alaskan. I'll call it horror because it is literally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Um,
yeah.
there was a lot of things that go on, and because they're so separated from the United States, and that's why I brought them up earlier. And Robin's right; it's all over the place. It's up in Canada. The First Nation is really bad with it. Excuse me, but that one focused on that because it's that big of a deal, okay, in Alaska, and because they're so separated from the rest of the United States, they have
Mm-hmm.
their darkness for 6 months or whatever it is, so on and so forth. There's a lot that goes on over there that doesn't get seen by the rest of the country. It's very sad. So
Yeah,
if you have the chance, look into it, folks. All you got to do is Google missing and murdered indigenous, and it'll take you all over the place, all over the world. No lie, because it's a fact.
yeah.
So
Well, there's I believe in Alaska there's about 28% of homeless youth.
yes, it's bad.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a place. Oh,
It makes it harder too.
Covenant House. They're survivors of human trafficking. 28%
Right.
of those
It's a
homeless
lot.
kids at that place have survived trafficking.
Absolutely.
So that just gives you an idea of, yeah, Moonflower, yeah, Montana. You're
Yep.
absolutely right, man. Montana is and but you don't hear about these cases. You don't hear about
Well,
No.
them.
he's like
So
financially suppressed, like economically suppressed
yes,
communities are victimized a lot.
yeah.
You are not, and that's the thing too, JJ, is because, and I scream about this all the time. You guys know, and I'm not going political, but we send so much of our money and our resources out of the country, okay, to help other
Hmm.
countries with things that are not our business when we have what he just said as being an issue. We have homeless people all over the place, folks,
Right,
that have no
right.
resources, no nothing. They're just forgotten about. So I'm
Yeah,
so glad that you're doing. I wish more channels would look into this more, Robin. And they need to. They do. They need to. So I'm
yeah.
looking forward
Well,
to it. I
thank
really
you.
am.
Yep.
Yeah, man,
Well,
you
thank
should be. These are things that should be common sense. You deal with the issues we have, and we have a lot,
Bad.
and it's gotten worse and worse and worse and worse. But yet we're more concerned because there's a lot of big business deals on the table with all
Hmm.
these arrangements that have been going on for a long time. This is not a new thing. This is not,
No.
and I'm not trying to get political. It's not only under Trump. It's just he's pretty transparent about what he's
Right.
doing, making deals. It's just this shit's been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's
Nope.
it's it's really, people would have nightmares if they knew what was going
Well, that's
on with
it.
these NGOs.
Right. People are disposable. Money's not to them. That's the sad part. We are the last
Yeah.
thing they worry about, folks. Realize that. That's a fact.
Yeah. Well, but that's where this is coming from, just raising awareness and
And I'm grateful.
people don't realize how much the Native Americans had to do with our Constitution. I mean,
Absolutely.
Benjamin Franklin took a lot of things from you know, Native
Yes,
Americans. So I mean, you
they
know,
took everything.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
They took
Yeah.
they
So
we own that we took their land from them, folks. This is
yeah,
theirs. We're living, breathing, standing, and walking on their land day after day, and
yeah.
they were just pushed
And
off into a corner somewhere and said, "Here, you can live in this shack, and I don't care what else you need." That's what they've done. So
well, you know, and the thing is too, one of the you know, great Native American activists, Russell Means, he said there was a documentary, and he said that he was specifically talking to the rest of the country. He's like, "Welcome to the new reservation."
it is so
So, but
unfair, so
anyhow,
unfair. It
I
wasn't
won't
us
get
personally,
into
yeah.
that. You
It
know,
wasn't us personally. Don't
no,
take me
no,
wrong.
no, no, no,
It was
no,
our
no.
ancestors back in the day, so on and so forth, within the government
Right,
that did it, and just
right.
that's all I'm saying. So
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, there's a difference between being able to look back on your history and understand the history and try to correct wrongs that were done, but
yes,
it doesn't mean that we have to be ashamed to be who we are.
yep,
There's a difference, and a lot of people keep getting that mixed up in their minds. That you know, I feel terrible that those things have happened, that these things have are still going on, but I know that I am not personally responsible, so I don't have guilt in the sense that, you know, somehow it was my fault, because it's not. So
no,
there's a difference, and it's a shame that people keep getting that mixed up in their heads, you know.
yeah, and that's
So
that we can't control what our ancestors did. We can't control what the forefathers did. We had nothing to
no,
do with that, nor any
no,
control. But all we can do now is what we do try to do, and that's
right,
support and speak on the situation and how bad it is. That's the best we can do. So
yeah. So
And
it's
look, corruption trickles down, and it trickles down.
it's true,
If you have corruption going all the way up the chain of command, so to speak, then the smaller things lower down on their chain of public interest, and
right.
what needs to be taken care of, that stuff gets swept under the rug. That's just the way it goes. And there's so much corruption. It's beyond. I mean, the difference is now more people are aware of the corruption than ever before. It's always been corrupt. But it's just that now it's pretty much out in the open. And that's what really
right.
scares me, because I
Yeah.
believe once they fully pull the curtain back and they have to stop pretending is when shit gets really dark. But these pressing issues, social issues and economic issues, they don't get any attention because the people who run the show are only concerned about their own interests. Even all these NGOs that are supposed to be doing all these different things that we're told that they don't do what the public is told that they do.
No, of
It's
course
it's
not.
a fact.
Oh,
And
hey.
so anyway, I'm sorry. I get fired up about
No,
this
that's
shit.
okay. It's okay. I just wanted to bring E Potty up. We have E Potty backstage, so I'm gonna bring him up to join us. Hello, how are you tonight, sir?
I'm good, Robin. Thanks for
Welcome back.
Good.
uh
Yeah.
got a weird connection that I was looking at. And I guess you
Oh,
guys know that I kind of feel that a lot of this is theater.
Hmm.
Uh,
oh yeah.
Yeah,
so
I agree with you too.
I looked at I remember hearing Ava Wood's interview. It was about 6 minutes long.
Yes.
And she said it right off the bat, um, that she saw her friend Emily outside, and she knew something was wrong, and she looked cold, and she
Yeah.
went out there and gave her blankets, right?
The melted blanket, right? Yes.
Yeah. And then she said, and I'm used to this because I was at another mass casualty event in Thousand Oaks,
Okay.
and that immediate I was like, okay, what are the chances that you're going to be in two mass casualty events.
Right.
So I looked up the Thousand Oaks mass casualty event. It was a shooting. 12 people died. One of the guys who died survived the Las Vegas shooting. And his mom said, well, how can this happen? You know, the Las Vegas shooting, strangely enough, was a country concert. It was country music there. This Thousand Oaks, it was called the Borderland Bar and Grill. They were having country night and they were doing line dancing, and that was shot up. And then I thought of the Idaho 4. When we hear the screaming, those guys are singing "Country Road, Take Me Home."
Yeah.
Somebody doesn't like country, I guess.
Right.
But I looked up her. Apparently, Ava has an IMBD.
Yes.
Page, and it's with all the stuff she's been in. But there's another Ava Wood IMBD page with one film in it, and it's from 2011. It's about a elementary school, and it's called Tattletale Hero, and she plays the character of Erica.
Erica, that's interesting.
With a K. Yeah, I just
That's
I
interesting.
just thought, nah, that's some weird connection.
Right?
Yeah. Huh.
That's very strange.
Very.
And you know what's funny too, E-Potty, is that a lot of these different situations, such as, you know, Thousand Oaks and all these other things. Have a great night, Angel Heart. There are a lot of weird parallel things that fall into play with some of these that you can't look past it, you know, and the coincidence side to it is very weird. I'll just say that.
Yeah,
So,
I'm actually waiting for you guys to do the Las Vegas shooting, because it's considered the most horrific mass shooting in the United States, and I don't really think it is what
I don't think so either. I think Sandy Hook, and at least in my heart and my mind, Sandy Hook was the worst thing that ever happened. Thus far, they're all horrible. Don't get me wrong. It's hard to classify what's the worst of the worst. You know what I mean? But Sandy Hook
Yeah.
being so many young children blew me away. Like I was indisposable for like a week after that. I couldn't even function because my mind and my heart were broken half. You know, it just didn't make sense to me how that could happen. So I agree with you that some seem worse than others. And some are worse than others in my mind. Every one of them is a horrifying event, but you know what I'm saying with that, you know?
Yeah.
Vegas was the deadliest. That's what Tomboy said. I agree with that. That was very scary, and it could have been so much worse. So much worse. I'm glad that it wasn't, but it was still a very horrible situation as well.
Yeah,
in my opinion, of course.
I also think that was a staged. That guy was a patsy. I mean,
A lot of people do.
There was gunfire coming from all different directions.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that one's got a lot of. I mean, look.
They were saying it was coming from helicopters.
Yeah, I
saw
followed
that.
that very closely in the beginning. I was watching with all people with the flight trackers and all that stuff,
Yep.
like right away, early on, and I started like really paying attention to that. One of the things that, again, I always zoom out and I look at the big picture. One of the things that makes red flags go up with me is anything you're not allowed to question.
Of course.
Any type of event that happens that you're not allowed to question makes my red flags go up, because we're all human beings. Nobody wants to be ostracized for having questions about these events.
Right.
Right. So that is one of the ways in which, because think about it, if these major events happen, then we're supposed to be a free citizenry. We're supposed to have the First Amendment. So whenever something gets presented and you're not allowed to question it, I immediately start asking questions,
Yeah.
because you should be. Why wouldn't you be able to question things? If it's considered mean and insensitive, and well, that's part of having a First Amendment. You can't, if people don't like what other people think about certain things, then don't listen.
Right. That's the
Turn the
same thing,
page.
JJ. That's the same thing we went through in the Idaho 4 case when it first happened. And I've said this many a times, it was taboo to talk about Dylan or Bethany, okay, in that case for the first 2.5 years. And when they finally let the reins go on that, then it became okay. Now it's not a big deal. But for the first like 2.5 years, literally, if you said anything about them, you were going straight to hell and you were condemned by God and everyone in the world. And it's like, wait a minute, why? Why can't we question this? Or if you questioned the Gonsalves family, shame on you. You're going to hell. Blah blah blah. And at the same time, which has changed now, after a period of time. But yeah, you are absolutely right. I fully agree with you on that.
Well, it's like you need a critical mass of people
Yeah,
questioning, because they
right.
can't silence everybody, and hence the
Right.
reason why I look at things in the big picture way. Because think about it. Think about major things, and I always say this: high profile events. I always make sure to clarify and say that.
Right.
There's a lot of things, and most people would say, well, that's crazy. Look, we heard this all in the news, like this happened and that happened, and this is the official story. It's confirmed. But
Sure.
that's what you were told about it by the mainstream media.
Right.
And when you're told that you can't, you're bad, you're evil, you're insensitive, you're this, you're that, or the other, if you question these narratives, that is, in my opinion, and it is Friday, so I'm taking the gloves off. If you are in a situation where you're basically ostracized and you're not allowed to question things, in my personal opinion, that is indicative of an operation. Because what becomes this, the old saying, repeat a lie enough times and it becomes the truth, and it's just accepted as truth. But then
Yeah.
30 years later, information comes out, but most of the public never sees it because the media completely ignores it.
Right.
Well, it wasn't CIA Director Bill Casey quoted as saying, "We don't need to convince the American public. We just need to convince one guy."
Yep.
It was Walter Cronkite,
Yes,
the
sir.
most trusted man in television.
Right.
So you can convince Walter Cronkite, everybody would believe it.
Right.
Absolutely.
And look, these crimes, these high profile crimes like Idaho 4 and all, etc., they are presented to the public in a way where anybody who starts questioning it is what? They're labeled a crazy conspiracy theorist. That's the oldest method literally in the book.
Every time.
Yeah. I mean, it goes back to Kennedy, but you know what I mean? Like, anybody who questions the official narrative, you're crazy, you're insensitive, you're this, you're that, how dare you? It's that, to me, that's a red flag.
Yep.
Right.
And because people don't want that labeling, they just step away, and that's easier. Do you have something running in the background with you, E-Potty?
Yeah, E-Potty. Is there something going on in the background?
It's my fans. I've got the video game going.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yep.
Thanks for coming up, man.
Appreciate your input. I was like, it sounds like a plane flying. I couldn't figure that out.
Yeah, that's what.
and
he must be playing a serious game.
This is why the Constitution, while far from perfect, without it, it would be really dark in America. Far worse than it is right now. And And that's why I'm a staunch defender of the Constitution. Even if people may disagree with gun ownership and they may disagree with certain things and they want censorship only for certain things,
Right.
that the old slippery slope when the frog in the boiling pot of water
Yeah.
metaphors are they're exist for a reason. They're there for a reason.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yep.
sir.
And but we all have to remember, and I'm going to sound a little pie in the sky, but we all have to remember to keep bringing the light, to
Oh,
shine
yeah.
in the darkness. And each and every one of us has that power, and you can do it in different ways. So I mean, don't be afraid to question, because that's what they want, and we can't allow that to keep happening. And like, there's DA at CrimeCon, and this guy's spouting this stuff, and it just underscores the fact of how much they are lying to us,
Yes.
you know and I'm sure we'll get some more stories about that when he can. I can just imagine what else is going on there. But
And
yeah, we have to.
they only put out that one side of things too, Robin. That can't be forgotten. That's all they will
That's
go.
right.
They take it to that line and they stop. And they make sure
That's
everybody
right.
hears loud and proud what they're saying. And if you bring it up
Hmm.
in any other, bring up any other version of it, then you're shunned and you're crazy. Like JJ said, you're automatically a conspiracy theorist, and they chase you off. So very
Right.
sad.
Yeah.
I wanted
I
to. Oh, go ahead, Robin. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, no. I was just gonna say real quick. I really do wish we could have our own alternate thing, to almost like counteract and
It's
actually
gonna
get
happen.
out the truth.
Eventually,
You
yeah.
know, yeah,
It's got to happen eventually. We just need a bigger critical mass of people. But
Right.
one of the things that I sort of when I had sort of an awakening, because I was just like many others, I was very angry about certain things that were happening in the world and with the government and so on and so forth. This is going back a ways. And I was watching these content creators, and pretty quickly I started to realize all they do is foment outrage against the other quote unquote side, right? And that
right,
applies to anything, not just politics, not just, it has to do with people with a differing point of view. And
right,
I stopped following those people because all they do, and they get a lot out of it because they're a lot of them now we know are paid to do that, but they just foment outrage. And so anybody who starts putting forth this side versus that side narrative, I stopped watching their content, unsubscribed, and I would encourage other people. I know we're all human, we're all tribal. We get fired up, and the algorithms are designed to get point things point to things that get people outraged because that's what makes them all money, these platforms. But you know what? We have to change that. And if it's true crime, if it's politics, if it's whatever, people have to stop that shit because the people that push that shit, they do really well, right? They have big followings and they make
yeah,
money doing it.
Definitely.
And a lot of
yeah,
them, I would encourage people, if you see that from content creators, be stronger and realize they're full of shit and they're probably getting paid to do that. And they're not, I'll say it straight up, they're not good people. Because with the state of the world as it is, if people are still pushing divisiveness, they're not good people. Sorry,
yeah.
I'll get off my
I agree.
soapbox now.
No, you're fine. Honestly, I have people in the chat that want to see my computer setup. I'll post that maybe over in Discord. I don't. I don't know that you guys really, everybody's not interested in that, but it's a pretty sweet setup. So if you're over in our Discord, I'll post a picture of it over there. So and I know one's looking into potentially getting a setup too. So yeah, it's really cool. But no, JJ, you're absolutely right. Because when you continue to follow people who are divisive, and that's what we hear. We don't want to be divisive. Like we don't want to get involved in drama, whether it's just in the chat, whether it's other creators or anything like that. That's because it defeats the purpose of getting out what we're really here for, and that is to find out the truth.
Yeah, and you need people to
And
take the lead. Someone's got to take the
true,
lead and take the hit. Go
of
ahead,
course,
call me names. I don't care. Shit on what I have to say. I don't care.
right?
You're
Yeah,
muted, one.
you're still muted. I'm not sure what's happening. You're muted. That's weird. Wonder why he's muted.
Somebody doesn't want
1-1.
one to speak.
I didn't mute anybody.
Yeah, he's not showing up as muted on screen. It might just be
No,
through on his side.
maybe. 1-1. Are you there? Oh, he's gonna go out and come back in. Anyway. So, but yeah. Oh, I was trying to click on a comment. Where'd it go now? Oh. NC Mountain Man says, I gotta be completely honest. I act like I don't enjoy drama, but I don't mind listening to a little here and there.
Look, we all are on that page too, man. I'm not
Sure.
gonna lie, and I just realized that there's levels to it, right? We can all agree that there's levels to it. Like
Yeah.
me and Dago, and we all get pretty
There we
fired
go. Now
up
we can hear you.
when we
Yeah,
talk
Yeah.
about this stuff.
my actual mic somehow got muted. I must have hit it by accident.
And Philly, I'm gonna do lives eventually. I have to get up more content on my channel before I start doing lives. But thank you so much. I appreciate your interest.
So, what I was trying to say was, my wife would love that option just to keep me quiet. Yeah,
To mute you?
Yeah. That reminds me, what was that? An Adam Sandler movie, right? He had like a remote. I forget.
Yeah, click or whatever.
Yeah.
Click.
Click.
Yeah. Funny movie. Anyway, we love for people to say what they feel and your theories or whatever. Listen, if you wanna tell us your theory, of how green Martians committed the murders, we'll listen to it, but you gotta have facts to back it up.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
why, and that's what JJ makes a big deal. He says all the time, and he's right. Why do you believe? So this is what you believe. Why do you believe that? And the answer isn't, oh, because Brian Enton said it, or
Right.
you got to do, like, obviously, there are supposed to be experts, right? That they collected evidence, whatever, and that's part of the problem in this case. Is what it's really becoming evident is they've been lying to us from the start. So as JJ said, I think it was yesterday or the other day, the most basic, like, fundamental facts of the case may not even be true. So
I've
where
been
do you
saying that.
begin?
Yeah.
Right. So where do we even begin? It's like, Forget about it.
Well,
Like everyone's going crazy over DNA. And listen, I'm not attacking like Pav and some of these other people. They do excellent research, and that's all we can do, right? Is go through the documents, go through the audio, go
Right.
through the interviews. But people are going crazy, and we will do. They just dropped more documents, right? We're gonna go through all this stuff.
Right.
I almost feel I see like I've had like an epiphany. I like JJ's. It's like I see the distraction. It's like here's another
Yeah.
distraction. Look over
Hi,
here.
Kathy.
I'm waving
Yeah.
my hand. Look over here. You're like,
Yeah. Hello, Kathy. Wanted to say hello, and Philly Special. Thank you so much for the donation. We really appreciate that. And she says, "What opened your eyes to all this?"
who to in general? I I I don't know what
probably
open our eyes
JJ.
to what like
Well,
to
on the
what J
street to
to
JJ.
some of the stuff that JJ has said. Would he'll go into more detail on it. JJ's looks, he kind of looks, he says it all the time. He's not really like a true crime person. He looks at like the bigger picture. But his degree, what he went to school for and everything, he studied psychology, and he always talks about pattern of behavior, which is, I didn't go specifically for school for pattern of behavior, but that is a fundamental way how we solve crime.
You
How do
learn
you
it in
tell?
life.
How do you tell
Right.
if it's a skill? How do I know someone? How do I know someone's hiding drugs? How do I like different maneuvers? Different ways they hold their hand, different ways. Your
Right.
eyes tell you a lot. Just different
Right.
ways. The ways that you answer questions.
And
Pattern.
Philly said that question was for me, and
I figured it was.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys the inciting event in my life, and I've probably talked about it at some point in the past. I'm from the New York tri-state area, just like just like Robin, and I lost people that I knew personally on 9/11. And so, because where I lived was one of the hardest hit areas as far as people who died on 9/11. And I was like everybody else at first. And ironically, I was living in Colorado when it happened. But I had family that worked in downtown New York. So I left work and went, and right in the morning, when this shit went down, and I was following it. But like everybody else, I believed the mainstream narrative we were told, and I got sucked into it just like everybody else. But then I started, because it was somewhat personal to me, I started to remember things that I heard on live broadcasts that were buried really quickly. Because at the time, there were people calling into the news stations that were like literally calling in from phones from out and about saying what they saw and this and that and the other.
Right.
So, and then when those things got scrubbed, I started going, well, why wouldn't they follow up on that information? And I started paying closer attention. And over time, things started to not add up. And I started to dig a little bit and pay attention to certain things. And then when some sort of alternative things started coming out, I started, because I read a lot, I started reading whatever I could about from investigative journalists that were digging into things. And that was it. That was the event that made me open my eyes and how much we're lied to. And so, it wasn't like day one. I was all in on the mainstream narrative at first, like many people were, of course. And that was the thing that made me start to see things that I had never paid attention to, and start to understand the way the media functions and the way the power structure manipulates people, and you start connecting dots. And I guess I was always good at connecting dots, maybe just inherently. And that's what made me start to really dig into things. And it just, over time, I started to identify things quickly that didn't add up and started to say, why? Why are we being
Yeah.
lied to about these things? Why is the public always being given this story that the mainstream media is all in lockstep on? And that
We
was,
lied about a lot. Yeah, there's so
yeah, a
much they
Yeah.
lied.
long time ago. And then you just become more and more attuned to these types of things over time. And you have to, I don't, just for the record, too, guys, I don't believe every quote unquote conspiracy theory. I'm not one of those people who likes
Yeah,
conspiracy theories just for the
right.
sake of it. You know, I can see, because again, I always say I have to be able to answer the question why. If there's no logical connection to why this would be a conspiracy, then I can't go with it. I have to be able to understand why. So that's kind of the
Right.
overview about
Yeah,
what opened my eyes.
me too, kind of.
Yeah.
It also was me, and the big thing that I know. Well, it's Friday Night Mayhem, so we go off on a little tangent, right, on some stuff. I know some personal stuff. I was not in NYPD when 9/11 happened. I joined the force in 2003, but I know a lot of people who were down there that told me all kinds of stuff. But one of the big things that just it never made sense to me, that I was like, "What the hell is going on here? Like, why are they lying about this? Why are they hiding it?" Was the cell
Right.
was again
Yeah.
was the cell phone stuff.
Oh yeah.
All
That was
this.
right.
I'm not saying that no one made a call or whatever, but the stuff that they have with the cell, it doesn't make sense.
No, and
Yeah.
The distance of how high the planes were, cell phone, they didn't have you wouldn't have had service.
right.
So what am
Yeah.
I saying? Am I saying that I don't believe the people on the plane died? I'm not saying any of that. I'm
No.
just saying what they're saying doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up.
Well, that the way the buildings fell, you can watch that in
There's
itself.
that too.
I have
Yeah.
friends and coworkers that
Yes.
they went to New York that were firefighters and EMS workers to help, and they came back and said something's wrong. This was not a lot of the stuff you saw in the news. And there was stuff that was on the news that just disappeared, and you
Yep.
never saw it again. Things that weren't supposed to be seen. And these people came back going, I don't know what the hell they're doing over there, but this did not happen. That did not happen, and this should have happened, but didn't. This actually happened, and they didn't. They said it didn't, and a lot of things like that. And these are firefighters and EMTs and paramedics going, what? Like they're just noticing these things, not and God forbid you question it, they shut you down and ship you out. You're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there was a
Yeah.
Of course.
military official. There were two that I know of. One of them was a very, like, one of the highest ranking generals, or he was a very, very high ranking military official. On his deathbed, when he was
Yeah.
dying in the hospital, he talked about what happened. And then there was another guy that I listened to not that long ago, who was like, I wish I could remember, like a very high ranking military, like a general or an admiral in the Navy. I can't remember because I've watched so much stuff. And he said some things that would make your head spin about what really happened. Now,
Right.
what happens? These people, they get marginalized. Oh, he's crazy. He's a lunatic. He's this, he's that, right? That's what happens. You get pushed to the side. This
Or
person's
they
crazy.
disappear. Right.
And
Right.
so that is a fairly common occurrence. And when I used to look into these things and I would try to talk to somebody about what I learned, They would go, this was the big argument. We've all heard it a million times. Well, you're talking about these big, giant conspiracies. Wouldn't they leak out? And my answer to that is they do leak out. They get leak out, and then the people who leak the information, guess what happens to them? They
They
disappear
disappear.
or they commit you
Yep.
know
Yeah.
what. And
Yeah.
and so there are some things that I believe can be hidden because they're compartmentalized, right? So, for example, people who work for a big corporation or a huge like private equity firm, they're not in on the board meetings. They're not at the World Economic Forum in Davos. They're not at the Bilderberg
Mhm.
meeting every year. They're not at, the Atlantic Council, all these big consensus building, high powered meetings that elites go to, right? So they're working for these companies. They make really good money, and they're not going to sit and question things too hard. Maybe they do in the back of their minds question things, but if I was making a massive salary every year, I'm a human being. I might not want to question some of the things that my organizations are involved in. So I think that, this whole mechanism that's in place has been in place for a very long time. And the
Yeah.
more you learn, the more
Yep.
books you read, you don't need to have them spell it out for you. This is another thing I
Right.
talk about a lot. You don't need them to spell out. You have to be able to go, wait, with this was going on and this happened. And now I'm learning about this other thing that works this way, but it's connected to these other things. You have to be able to go, well, logically, they would do this, they would do that. They would have a vested interest in these things happening the way they happen. It's
Right.
you're never going to get the mainstream media validating conspiracy theories. The government's never going to
No.
come out and tell us
No.
what happened to JFK. They're
Right.
never going to tell us what happened on
No.
9/11.
And JJ,
No.
when there is someone who's an expert that tries to come, that if they come forward and try to say like, well, this is what happened, they're lying to you, or this, or they're changing it,
They
they'll,
disappear.
if the person does, if they don't disappear, I mean, usually they do, but if they don't, they'll come out with something to discredit that person as much as they
Right.
can.
Of
Like,
course.
Yep.
oh, they'll dig up all kinds of dirt, or all kinds of nonsense to just completely discredit.
Right.
Yeah.
And then,
Right.
when they're all
Well,
in lockstep, right? You can see it. It's pretty obvious. Like if you question the mainstream narrative that's in lockstep, then you get marginalized, or you're a
Yeah.
crazy conspiracy theorist, or you're this, or you're
Right.
that. That's a standard tactic. I mean, this is nothing new. It's been going on forever. And the more I've learned about the bigger picture, the much bigger picture, because I would be like, when I was young, I was going to bars, hanging out. I was, playing in bands, or I was doing whatever. And occasionally I'd rub elbows with somebody that was older and far more knowledgeable than I was. And they would tell me things, and I would just, whatever. I would dismiss it, or I just didn't care to look into
We
it.
didn't care back then.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Somebody once said to me, and I'm pretty sure I was in a bar in New York City, because I worked at a music club in New York City when I was young, a pretty famous music club. So we all had like certain spots that the people that worked in these clubs would hang out at. And I was after work hanging out downtown New York. I think I was either in the Bleecker Street area or on the Lower East Side area, and there was a guy at the bar next to me. This is when you could smoke cigs in bars, and I was smoking a cig and having a beer, and started talking with this guy. And it might have been, God, I can't remember what event. It was a major world event that was going on, and the guy's like, "Yeah, it's the bankers. It's all the bankers." And my brain had never wrapped itself around that kind of stuff before. So I didn't think anything of it. What does this guy mean? The bankers. It's bankers. I didn't understand
Yeah.
the big picture that he was really talking about. And then, years later, guess what? Who
Yep.
starts these
Here we are.
wars? Who created
the bankers.
the Federal Reserve? Like, right? It's all connected on a global level. And then and I'm not an expert on this stuff, by the way, but you don't need to be an expert to connect dots.
No.
Right. And
a lot of
do
it just takes
research.
common sense, truly and honestly.
Yeah.
If you
A lot of things take common sense, and I don't know. That seems to be dead and gone.
yeah, that's far few in between these days. Sadly, it's not a
Yep.
regular thing anymore. People are like,
No.
they'd rather worry about what's going on with their cell phone or their streaming service and things like that, and how much money they can make instead of looking at things. I mean, things will pass us right by that people just look at it and go, yeah, okay. And some of us are like,
Yeah.
hold on, what the hell was that? We actually catch it sometimes, but a lot of people are just like, yeah, okay, whatever, moving on.
Well, I'm glad our communities do have their eyes open and
Yes.
are paying attention. So, but
A big deal.
I think we're gonna wrap it up there for the night. But you guys, as always, here on the panel, it's always a great discussion, and I'm always so honored to be up here with you guys, and of course the chat. You guys are all amazing. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you and the mods on both channels. We can't thank you guys enough for everything that you do. But for old time's sake, let's go around the horn here a second. We'll go JJ Dego 1-1, and then I'll close this out. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. I love Friday nights, man. Friday nights. Friday nights are for me, man. I really
Good stuff.
I love it. I love Friday Night Mayhem. I really do. And people in the chat, they're a lot of them are on board, man. They know it's all connected. They're not. I don't think they're offended by going off the rails a little bit because people have instincts. We all know when we're being lied to. Whether we want to acknowledge it or not, I guess that depends on the individual, but we all know. And I think that these big true crime cases, I don't view them as separate from all this bigger, higher level fuckery. So that's why I bring it up a lot, because I believe, E-Potty said it earlier, it's all theater. I think in many ways, a lot of what we've been presented with is in many different areas is theater.
Yeah.
So, but it was a good conversation. Thank you to the advocates, of course, the denizens, the meatballs, and our awesome mods. I appreciate everybody. And yeah, more conversations to come.
All right. Thank you very, very much. And if I can get this thing to let me bring it back here. And Sir Dego.
All right, guys. Another great Friday night conversation. I always enjoy these in-depth convos that we have when we have them. Again, I got to thank JJ for kicking that trap door in on my brain from time to time and getting me synchronized with life sometimes and thinking about things. And again, I do this on a regular, okay? Speaking of, the new channel I have coming out, the Cafe Conspiracy, there's going to be a lot of that kind of stuff talked about, just as much as JJ's channel, of course, the State of the Deep. Lee has the secondary channel he's got. Where there's a lot of us that are going to be talking about these things, you guys, because you guys are asking for it, okay? And that says a lot to me. That's important, because when you guys are asking for these things, that says, hey, they want to know. They know what's going on. They see it for what it is, because there's so many very, very intelligent people in these communities, guys. We truly do see it. We appreciate it and love you guys for being that way. Um, so thank you for being who you are, as I always say, and make sure you guys tune into these new channels that are coming and they're dropping. JJ's had his going for a minute now. He's got some great stuff there. Lee's doing some amazing things on his, and I will be as well. And all these topics will be talked about there because it's kind of taboo for us to talk about it over here. We try to keep it separate because we want the truth to
Right.
be exposed on these channels. That's the most important part. But the other stuff that goes a lot deeper is what we're talking about. And there's going to be all sorts of things out there. So I'm looking forward to sharing with you guys, so on and so forth. So it was a great conversation. Again, thank you to 1-1, Robin and Lee, JJ, as always. I hope Lee's being safe over in Vegas here, and I'm sure he's very well missed by everybody. So thank you all again, guys. Don't forget to love yourselves and love each other. Please don't change a thing because you truly are perfect the way you are as the beautiful people. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you. And for you, 1-1, what say you for the night?
So I saw people asking a bunch of different questions. I can't really answer all of them. Robin will start throwing apples at my head. But yeah, I saw one there real quick. Someone was asking something about Sandy. Yeah, unfortunately, so with my job, I get to see when there's a big tragedy. I do get to see people, kind of working together to try to get through the tragedy, which is
Right.
great. And the news does, they try to show it sometimes and whatever. And when I'm talking about big tragedies like a flood or a fire and stuff like that. However, with my uh, job, career, uh, way of life, whatever you want to say, because the difference in my job compared to others is, we take an oath to serve, and the obviously the higher up in rank that you go and you get promoted, you're responsible for more stuff that's going on.
Mhm.
But whether you are a new officer or higher up, um you never, we're kind of always on call. Like there's no real,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I scan out, but when I'm off duty, if I'm off duty
There's no real
and
downtime.
and I witness a
No.
crime, someone's life is at risk, I'm supposed to take some kind of action. I'm
Right.
kind of mandated to do it.
Right.
So that's just, I chose to this part of life, but unfortunately with tragedies, I do get to see uh the bad side of people as well. So
Right.
there is a lot of good that people do, but um I had I have seen, you know, some really horrific things that uh some people have
Yes.
done and since sometimes, some stuff I've started to share certain things with with the team off. I Some of it I can't show on here obviously, and so
Of
they're
course.
kind of, I give them a trigger warning. They're kind of getting a little taste to see what some of the stuff that I have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, and I know almost every time I send like a video or a story or something to Robin, she was like, "Oh my god!" Like it's kind of
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
doesn't.
And
It's some serious
it
stuff.
shows
It's
that dark
crazy
side.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, like as Robin was talking about, there has to be a light, and there is. There has to be a balance. There's got to
Yes,
be a balance,
for sure.
and I do believe that if we unite together we can outshine that darkness. I do believe that we can. It's not going to be, not, you know, as we always talk about, it's not going to be easy. It's not easy to make things happen when, you know, people that have a gazillion billion dollars over us and power, and they're the ones making the rules and the laws and all this stuff. It's not easy, but it can be done. um so, you know, that's just, you know, kind of what my focus is. Try not to let the darkness, you know, overwhelm your thoughts, because some people can start to think like, is there really any good left in the world? And yes, there is a lot of good that I see, but just like me, you know, Dago had plenty of experience himself. He was also a first responder. We unfortunately see the worst of people, and I have seen people unfortunately taken advantage of in these tragedies, and uh it really gets crazy, like some things that people are willing to do, that uh they just like have no apathy, no feeling at all. But there's always hope. There is hope, because there are good people out there like us on this panel trying to send a message, whether it's the Koberger case or whatever, Alex Murdaugh, or, you know, whatever it is that is coming. We just we want to strive and fight to get to the truth, and we're always willing to, you know, we're always open and willing to listen to the ideas and stuff that you guys have, because you guys in the chat are just as much important as we are on the panel. um so, you know, don't be afraid to ask your questions, and we want to listen to you. You know, like I said before, we're willing to listen to you. um just make sure that you try to back up what you say with the reason why, and we can have a great debate, great discussion on the stage. You know, and I'm willing to. I'm sure other people, you know, Dago and JJ, Rob, you know, Lee as well, whoever, you know, I'm willing to change my opinion of things. If you show me something and you can prove it to me and back it up, I why would I not be willing to believe what you have to say? But you have to prove it. You got to back it up.
Right. Yep.
But that's it. Just keep working together. And thanks, Robin, for running the show. You know,
Only way we're gonna get anywhere.
thanks for you know, keeping us together and running. And again, remember, on Monday we will be trying to, hopefully it doesn't the time doesn't change. I know Robin and I are going to try to do a live stream showing, you know, whatever's going on with that Zoom call. So thanks everyone for coming out, and thanks to all the amazing mods from all the channels. Um, Special shout out, yeah, of course, always Amanda, you know, and Cat Farm. You are not, you know, we don't forget about you. All the stuff you do backstage. So thanks to all of you. Thank.
Yep. Well, thank you very, very much. And, you know, to one's point, we know that, you know, the vast majority of you folks coming in here, you are critical thinkers. You are kind and you are good and you want the truth. And that's why we're here. And we couldn't do what we do without, you know, all of you. And we appreciate you more than we could ever really say. And you know, so just thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And hopefully tomorrow night, maybe we'll have a little bit more time with Lee to give us some more lowdown after some more events tomorrow night or tomorrow take place. So, and hopefully his cell service will hold out. But yeah, so hopefully we'll get some more behind the scenes stuff from ProcCon. But
There
no,
you go.
seriously, guys, thank you for all you do. I have the privilege of getting up here with, the rest of the panel and of course working with Lee. So, it means a lot. So, but I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of the night. And we will see you right back here again tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern. And there's the Crime Cat and 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So have a great night, everyone. Take
Have
care.
a great night, folks.
Good night, everyone.
Okay.